Happy Halloween. Thanks for locking in and actually being productive and deciding to make the most of Halloween night. I know it's a hard decision, right? Everyone's going out, everyone's partying, it's a Friday night, but you locked in. And so, at least for this time being, until you click off, congratulations. I'm proud of you. You made the right decision, and let's make ourselves better tonight. Welcome back to episode 29 of the Ascended podcast. Tonight's topic is the Halloween tool graveyard. I'm going to explain what that means in a second. But how many of you guys, first of all, like horror movies? I would say for me personally, like I don't choose to watch them, but I don't mind them when they're on, especially if I'm with other people. I'm not going to go watch a horror movie by myself because I feel like it's about the experience. Like you need to be scared. You need to feel the excitement with other people around. If you're just by yourself, you're kind of, in my opinion, a little bit of a weirdo. If you just sit around watching horror movies, it's about the like getting scared together, like why you would do a haunted house with other people versus yourself. I want to introduce tonight's topic about something that to me is just as scary as going through a haunted house. It's wasting money and throwing my life away, right? Just as so many of us make a bad decision, maybe we get in a car accident, some of us could overdose on something, some of us could like throw our lives away in one simple decision. And we hear these stories all the time. One of the slower deaths you can take in life is by making a series of bad decisions that add up to something drastic. If you don't believe that that's the case, look at diabetes. You choose to overindulge yourself when you don't need the calories, especially on food that isn't high quality. And over the course of several years, you kill yourself because it's food that is never intended to be eaten, and you stack and stack and stack those terrible nutrients or lack of nutrients and empty calories and do something really bad to yourself. And again, a lot of it wasn't intended from the beginning, just like getting in a car accident or things like that. But the situation we're going to talk about tonight that's very similar to something like that is not managing your finances, not managing the way you spend money, the way you relate yourself to income. Okay, is that clear? I think I worded that pretty clearly. Money drives everything. It drives every single thing in the world around you. There's no such thing as a free lunch. There's always a cost. You might not directly pay for it, but you might be paying with your time, which could be equate to money. There's a lot of mediums of exchange, but at the end of the day, money is basically why we do anything. I want to go through what Altura really was built for. And I had this question actually about an hour ago, Anthony, if you're watching. I remember we just talked through, we were trying to come up with a mission and vision statement for Altura, and it's about to go live tonight. We're going to add that onto our website. Every great business has a vision, which is what you set out to change the world toward and what your company is going to do to add value and change the world. And then the mission is specifically how you're going to go execute that. And then obviously you have like a headline or tagline that goes in your hero of your website and is on kind of your business card, like your slogan type thing. And we needed to discuss what that was. We had a million different options, right? Because we have AI tools, we have a networking hub, we have a bunch of partnerships with companies, we have an education portal for course-like content, but we didn't necessarily have that one selling point. At the end of the day, we decided that the best thing to lead with right now in the stage we're building in is the suite of tools, the AI tools that run your business and eventually someday will run your life with you and allow you to tackle more with less work. It's pretty life-changing because of how much most of us end up spending on the day-to-day things. I bet most of you guys watching this have a subscription to ChatGPT. You pay the $20 for Plus each month or the $200 for Pro, I think is what it's called. And we just have that. You might have a Netflix subscription. Subscriptions are the enemy, right? Because they eat away your income without you even realizing where it's going to. Because you made a decision one month to change your life permanently until you cancel it. And a lot of that, those micro commitments, just like eating bad food, adds up into a lifestyle that traps you into a pattern of having less because you're wasting more. This is the tool graveyard tonight where side hustles go to die. And we're going to be discussing that. You have 11 tabs open, 11 subscriptions, and 11 ghosts. The average 2025 hustler has 11 tools. That's why I chose the number 11. Not out of nowhere. HubSpot, maybe ClickFunnels, Canva, Notion, ChatGPT, Loom, Zapier, Google Workspace, all of these things, maybe a Wix subscription to host your website. All of these are expenses that you probably eat on the day-to-day trying to get off the ground as a new founder. You just know it takes money to start a business, and all the free money you have is going towards subscriptions to manage tasks that you otherwise would have no time to do. And you don't have the money yet for a virtual assistant to expand. So what happens then? Well, first, the fact of that is you spend about $1,200 a year on average, probably about $100 a month, just to even exist with the bare minimum subscriptions to run your company. A lot of us, right, we have an LLC, and most of you guys, if you have an LLC, you have a registered agent because you're not necessarily the address on the LLC. So you're paying somebody in Wyoming or Delaware to have an office open for you and basically collect mail on your behalf. And that's an annual expense. So right there, even just starting a business is an expense. 87% of people that have these businesses never integrate their systems together. They don't work on finding the most efficient way to find tools that connect. So they have Notion, but then that's separate from Google Drive, and that might be separate from Proton or whatever other tools you're using, maybe Microsoft Word, and maybe you're using all these different conglomerates of workspaces, but they don't actually talk to one another. And that's a huge problem because A, you have to go transfer the data and be the connector between your Google Mail and your Microsoft Word document because they don't speak, right? And Zapier has helped with this a lot. They came up with automations and ways to store data, but they're too complex. They don't help you very well. And so most people end up just buying more tools, which doesn't help because you become a tool hoarder. And that creates execution paralysis. At some phase, when you try to scale your business, you have so many subscriptions because you're trying a million different ways to run the day-to-day operations. And then you stretch yourself too thin, spending too much money on tools you don't need. And then secondly, they don't speak to one another. So you're not really saving time at the end of the day because now you have a million different softwares to manage. And it adds the stress of the lack of finances and puts even more pressure on you to try to make your first dollar when it's already hard enough. Most YouTube gurus say, use this funnel, right? And then now this AI tool, and now this CRM, and none of them actually are related to one another. So the result is you become this Halloween themed zombie, right? Brain dead from switching between different apps, tools, platforms, and not building, right? Literally, if you use Zoom instead of Google Meet, you're now not integrated with Google anymore, unless you're using a third party like Zapier or something like that to connect your data. So I don't know if there's like Chrome extensions or what it is, but it's not naturally inherently best if you want to use Zoom, which is the best video streaming software I would recommend. And you kind of are forced to use Google Meet, which could be crappier at the end of the day. And so you're either forced to comply or you just have to pay and manage separate accounts on a million different platforms. That is the real horror. That's scary because at the end of the day, too many of us make decisions to get Canva or whatever subscription it is. And then you look at your bank account and it's empty because you wasted all your money just trying to keep your business alive and you haven't even made your first dollar yet. Does anything I'm saying here make sense or is any of that relatable? Because for me, huge problem. You don't know what business, you want yet, and you're trying to explore that with these different tools, see even if it's possible. Maybe you're downloading, paying for Adobe Photoshop, right, or Premiere Pro to edit your videos to be a video editor, and you don't even know if you can make money off it. And so you're just in the hole. Not only that, you don't know, the exact funnel for me creating a clip to getting paid for it. You don't know the exact AI prompts to use to create images to promote your software. You don't know what stack of tools to subscribe to manage clients more efficiently. And so the only option is paying for courses, maybe asking ChatGPT, which doesn't know, it's just collecting information on the internet and regurgitating it. And it's not saving you time by telling you, like a mentor would, exactly what you need to do. And it doesn't give you, more importantly, the things to do with that. Even if you had all of the things I just mentioned, it doesn't say for the next 7 days, looking at all the things you're working on, you need to be focused on building up an Instagram presence. It doesn't say you need to go email 500 people by the end of this week as a primary goal. You don't know what to focus on to create motion in your business. And so a lot of the times, even if you have all the tools available, your business fails because, I'm going to be honest with you, you're just not the entrepreneur yet that you think you are. You don't know how to solve the problem because you haven't had to solve the problem yet. So a lot of us think we're just going to be fine, but that's like walking into a casino, sitting down at the blackjack table, not having any idea how to play blackjack and trying to make money. And most of the time, right, the house has the advantage. You're going to lose. So you freeze. And it's natural because all of us have done that. I've lost so many side hustles and blown so much money trying to get into content clipping or fitness coaching or dating advice or whatever the million types of ideas I've had before were, because I couldn't commit. I couldn't work past the fact that I was wasting so much money. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know what to do. And I feel like, honestly, if I knew what to do next, if I knew what the next step was, I would be fine, honestly, spending the money because I knew that there was an end result of money coming back into my bank account with near certainty at the end of it. So taking on risk when you've already taken on risk, taking on more is exponentially harder because you still haven't gotten anything out of it. So you either just become numb and you blow through debt that you maybe can't ever pay back and it puts you in lifetime jeopardy, or secondly, you just give up because it's too scary to take on more debt, open up more credit cards, and you don't have the assistance to do so. It's hard. And believe me, I've been there too. I have screenshots of $12,000 on an American Express business card that I was about to get hit with 30% almost interest annually that was going to start compounding on that. But thankfully, I sold NFTs for my company, for Altura, and we started the movement. I just went out and executed. But most of the time, 9 out of 10 of the times, side hustles just die in 90 days before they even take on that much risk. I've just done it enough to numb myself enough and maybe make myself delusional enough to the fact that I could keep going through it. And that's usually when it works. But it's very scary. And on Halloween, that's the scariest thing. And person going at it alone in their college dorm, or coming home from high school and trying to start that side hustle, or being in a stable job but wanting more and trying to escape the matrix, that is hard because you feel that dream dying. You feel yourself sitting on your bed or sitting in bed trying to fall asleep, thinking about that dream lifestyle and knowing that it feels like you're miles away from it. And you're failing, which makes it even scarier, not because it was a bad idea to begin with, but deep, deep down, you know it was because you can't execute. You don't have the roadmap. You don't have the tools to do so. The tools just aren't seemingly right for the job, and you've already wasted so much money trying to figure that out, and you just don't know if there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Is that real? Because it's real to me. What if there was a solution for that? And after probably 10 side hustles that just have failed in a row, I did have obviously a successful business, Daredevil, that we sold to an investor in Arizona. I think actually now an investor in California owns it and is running it. It was like some lawyer or something like that bought it to get into clothing. But that was my first like successful company. That obviously we had like a couple hundred ambassadors for, but probably 20 failed businesses in that time. I'm actually a huge failure guy. I just got lucky because I had enough failures to win. But I said, I'm tired of this. Half of these businesses that I tried to start, maybe a marketing agency, maybe a software, maybe a copywriting service, whatever it was, they would have been successful because there's so many people on the internet that are winning with this idea. Sure, half of them are probably faking it, but there's genuinely people doing this. So why can't I? I'm smart. I have my shit together. Most of you guys do too. So what's doing it? Well, it's because you didn't have the vision, and that's fine. The vision only comes if you've failed 30 times and wasted 5 figures in debt probably and paid enough money, which is basically like going to college anyway. So regardless, you're educating yourself through failure, just like you would in college. So either blowing a ton of money or you're blowing a ton of money on a mentor to tell you how to do it, which usually the mentor is the safer route because you save all the time by having the answers on the front end. And that's why most people, even if they're successful already, work with mentors or partners. But I said, I can't coach a million people at once. And I know AI is booming, and I've already had coaching clients. I have plenty of testimonials, guys. I've been a mentor for these entrepreneurs, and I studied consulting in school at the Air Force Academy. I know what I'm doing, and I've worked with real companies and nonprofits as well. But what if there was a tool? What if there's a software, a subscription, or something like that that you could subscribe to that solved that problem of being stuck and working through it? But then I said, you know what? That's kind of hard because a lot of people have different issues. Some people like AI. Some people love talking to AI to solve their problems. I actually love doing that too because I'm lonely. I don't have any friends. I don't have a girlfriend. I'm a sad person. But other people like talking it out with other people in the room. I also like doing that when I have the opportunity. I like networking. Maybe there's somebody out there with a different perspective on life that would change everything to me. That's why you go to conferences. That's why you connect on LinkedIn. That's why you interact with human beings and not AI. Maybe there's an education, like a course that could solve this. All these ideas were going through my head of like, do I sell out and make a course like all these other people? Do I, have ChatGPT drop service something? What could we do? And when I was sitting in bed probably a couple months ago, something clicked. What if there was a platform that just had all of this for just a really low cost because people that are new don't have the extra money? And we could sell this to a lot of people. Like tens of thousands of people could get on our platform and create a network with a very, very low cost to entry that we keep it that way on purpose. Unlike LinkedIn Premium, which is like fucking $80 a month. Isn't that crazy? I don't know if you guys have subscribed to LinkedIn Premium, but way overpriced. It's like at least $50, I know. But I said like 10, 15 bucks to get into a space of people that, actually care. People that are trying to get startups off the ground. People that maybe want a business partner that you could fill the role of and take on the idea with somebody else that thinks it's really interesting. And maybe they are the perspective you need to get through. What if we also had an AI that knew what your business was and knew how to coach you just like I would sitting across from you without me charging you thousands of dollars? Or like Iman Gadji selling you $1,000 course and then buying a Porsche and flexing it right in your face saying you're not good enough because he doesn't really give a shit about you. What if there was a simple tool, a one-stop shop to have the AI, education, the networking, the tools to actually go out and run your business, the subscriptions we talked about, all linked in one ecosystem that our own AI actually pulls data from to help you make decisions. So you don't have to prompt ChatGPT every single fucking day with updates on what you're working on. The AI just knows and can tell you what to do next. Or you can ask it for advice and it knows what's going on in your inbox, in your email, what documents you've been working on, stuff like that. And it's all secure too. What if you had an AI co-pilot, something that knows your calendars, your goals, because it helps you figure out your goals on a 5-year time frame all the way down to a 5-day time frame, and yet knows your network. There's no prompt engineering, there's no ChatGPT premium subscription. You just ask, what's my next revenue move? And based on what it knows about your business, based on the things it knows about your personality type, it puts that together. Then what if there was a funnel builder? 11-minute setup probably to create a Stripe-ready page for checkout and hosting clients, getting people inside of an agency, whatever it is. The stuff we're building inside of Ascend, which is the operation center of Altura. What if I had a content engine? I understood through course content how to pump out 30 posts a week. I had access to the software like Opus Clip, which could actually do that for me. What if I had the funding? What if my idea was so good, but I needed $10,000 to start the company and it would change the entire world? But I just couldn't start it because I didn't have $10,000. Altura does. And we'll hand you the money on a silver platter, maybe 10% of your company, if the idea is good and we want to be part of that. Then you get the funds to actually change the world. And you don't have to pay it back because it's an investment, not a loan. And we win together. And then maybe our community members benefit from having access to your software or your podcast or whatever it is to change the world because we're part of an owner of it. What if we had an NFT community worked into this with resellable membership? So instead of paying $1,200 for Iman Gadji's luxury Netflix production level course, you buy our NFT and you can resell for $1,200 after buying it for $400, so making you money, and the whole time get access to that and more. What if you had a network of executors like LinkedIn Premium for $60 to $80 a month, but it was people in our generation, the people that are going to grow up and change the world, the people with the best ideas, the people that understand how AI works, people that understand how crypto works, the people that are serious about escaping the matrix and how our economy is falling apart, the people that will save the world. What if you met those people without all the extra fluff, without the cheesy Facebook style posts on LinkedIn, real connections, people that maybe live an hour from you that you could drive to and meet up with at In-N-Out and talk about your consulting business that you want to start. And this person wants to join in with you and make it a live company. All of this is real. It's already been built. The website's literally right in front of you. It's alturasociety.com. But that was my idea. And it didn't start as a website. I didn't just say, well, let me just drop a website tomorrow. It took months of planning. It took figuring out how to launch an NFT. It took figuring out how to create a website in general, how to create a software that would track all this to actually reward you guys and to run your business in one spot that doesn't greed profits like Google, or like Notion, or like Motion Calendar, or like any of these other tools that you've been wasting money on. I know that sounds complex, but it's real because I made it real. And the reason I made it real, and the reason that all of this sounds like a perfect solution to your problems in the first place, is because it's a perfect solution to my problems. And I know because I'm a real business owner trying to do the same shit you guys are. I'm also running a coaching business. I'm doing the same type of hustle that you guys are trying to do. I'm not some Iman Gadji guy saying, buy my $10,000 program because I don't even understand how the world works anymore because I've been rich for 10 years. I'm making it out the mud the same way you guys are. And I'm just extending my hand from slightly in a better position, pulling you guys along with me. We're doing it together. I'm not doing it at you. I'm doing it with you. And I'm inviting you for a cheap cost, which covers our cost to run our AI, our platform, the database behind everything. We got to cover costs. We got to market this and get people on board. So yes, all of the profits right now are just being reinvested into pushing us out there. And obviously, if you buy an NFT, you get to ride the wave of the price going up because there's only 8,000 of these tokens. And the demand, as the supply goes up, as the demand goes up with more people, the supply stays fixed, the price is going to shoot through the roof. So when I was thinking through this idea, and we're almost done here, we got 2 more points. I said, how do I make this and structure it in a way where if I was you guys watching this right now, I knew I could get a guaranteed win within, let's say, a week without banging my head against a wall, trying to set up I'm trying to think of an example, right? Like Google Calendar and like integrating all this stuff. And Google Calendar is pretty simple. I would say more like Notion or something like that, which gets pretty intricate. How do I do it simply? So I started with Vision AI, which is our AI tool. It's powered by ChatGPT and Gemini. So it's the smartest stuff used by the biggest companies that we just repackaged and prompt engineered and trained to solve our needs for entrepreneurs, which is coaching you guys on your companies and pulling insights about the way you communicate and the focuses and vision you have. So I said, let's start there. Everyone's talking to AI, so let's make that the starting point. You're going to talk to Vision AI. It's free. You sign up to alturasociety.com right now, and you can use it for free. We're going to go through something called the strategic planning mode, where it asks you about your 5-year vision, your 5-month vision, and then probably your 5-day vision. And AI generates a strategy or business health score from 0 to 100. Basically, how well it feels that you're confident about your idea and how good of an idea it roughly is based on how much it knows about it. As you keep talking to it, like you would ChatGPT, like you would Gemini, like you would Grok, the health score goes up because it gets more confident in what it knows about you. It then generates insights. So what are the primary things it thinks you're looking for in life? What kind of person are you? What is your personality type? Things that you might not even know about yourself, it's pulling out and training you on how to get better. Then AI coaches you on the tactical level stuff that you figured out. What should I do in the next 5 days? You go to our AI-powered calendar, and then Vision AI will help recommend tasks to go in the calendar so that you fill up your next week. And I would recommend on Sunday nights sitting down with Vision AI, figuring out the next weeks of goals and filling out that calendar, which, like Motion, we replicated in our own fashion or similar to it, to use AI to reschedule your tasks to make you 50% more efficient. So you're not wasting empty space. AI is helping you accomplish 50% more in a day. Because as soon as you finish something, all your other tasks get moved up and you can keep grinding it out when you're in that flow state. So AI is powering everything here. And yes, Vision AI is tracking this too, and it knows what you've been doing and what you're working on, and knows your strengths and your weaknesses to help you get better, like a mentor. Otherwise, you're paying thousands of dollars for this. As you grow your business, you use our tools. You use the Ascend platform that we're going to be launching to actually set up an agency, set up a website, do whatever service you want to do, whether that's coaching, hosting a podcast, one-on-one consulting, a million things. Maybe just a marketing agency. You use our platform to link your calendar. You link your Drive or your documents. You link your chats with your customers, all in this one spot. And the AI learns from it and helps you optimize everything, as if it were an executive assistant and a mentor all in one. And then finally, you scale. Now that everything is integrated in one system with an AI monitoring it, which is in a secure format that we encrypt and secure your data. So we're not selling it off, we're not repackaging. Your stuff is truly your stuff, just like Signal, right? Where your stuff is secure. You can learn about yourself, which is the most important part. You pull the insights out, you learn your weaknesses. You plan your tasks accordingly on those weaknesses to optimize how you perform. The Vision AI, the 5-year vision, keeps you motivated, and it retailers that middle phase, that 5-month plan, to focus on how to actually get a win before the end of this year or early next year, whenever you're starting this, and all in one place. You now have the person to talk to or the AI to talk to, or if you want to talk to a real person or find a business partner, our networking hub covers that. You know the plan now, the roadmap for yourself. You then have access to the calendar to actually plan out your day-to-day and operate. It's your executive hub and assistant that uses AI to make sure you are more efficient than anybody else competing against you. Then you use our AI suite of tools to manage your email, to send emails to your clients for marketing purposes, to host your community, to manage your web calls, to manage your conversations, to bill your own clients. And AI tracks and gains insights about that. So it tells you what holes are missing. So you don't have to go and look at everything and try to figure out, my business isn't making money, what do I do next? AI says, I already know. This is what you need to do so you can truly enjoy your life. If you're taking today off, AI will go through and figure out what needs to be done on your company. So when you're checking back in tomorrow, your schedule's filled up and you know exactly what to execute on to still outperform everybody else that was working during that whole period of time. And it gives you your life back. You're not sitting there pulling your hair out. You have the plan, you're executing on it, and you're doing it faster and more efficiently than anyone else for a price that is 10% of what anybody else would be paying. If you believe in that vision, then join Altura. Don't be the person dealing with decision fatigue, feeling burned out, because I gave you the answers. I just gave you the vision of Altura. And if you don't see that, if you don't see how that makes your life better, then you are truly the problem here. And I'm just going to call that out because I have a solution. It's like me offering my hand and you not taking it. You can't blame anybody else but yourself for putting yourself in that position. For $15 a month, if you can't afford the lifetime free access with the NFT that you can resell, $15 a month versus 30 for Notion, 30 for Motion Calendar, 15 for Google Workspace, right? $30 a month for Flowzy to host your agency. All of this stuff and countless other tools packaged into one. Don't be the guy learning. Don't be the guy mentally masturbating to educational videos on how to get your side hustle off the ground. Actually do it and be the guy making those videos, because action is always going to win over reaction or consuming. Be the guy shipping. The first time you join, you start with Vision AI. That's a win. It's like making your bed in the morning. I learned that in the military. Then everything else compounds in, and what's the word I'm looking for? We're like cascades from there. Your brain locks in, I am working now. I am getting things done. And that stays with you the rest of your day. All the way from when AI briefs you in our page on your morning summary until the end of the day, where you know exactly what to do the next day because AI helped you figure it out. That's compounding. And that makes it inevitable that when you pay $15 a month, you have a $10,000 company within 2 to 3 months because you did nothing but win and have the answers. Imagine having a cheat code to winning in business, to making money, because we can actually promise that, unlike anybody else. If you're not making money within a month of joining our platform, it's going to be very, 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 very unlikely, but we would give you your money back. And I will actually follow through on that guarantee. So here's the action step. Go to alturasociety.com, watch the introductory video. It's right on the homepage, me talking about what it is. Sign up for free. Use Vision AI for free. I'll pay for the AI credits to let you use it. It's my gift to you. Link your account. Use our calendar. We're still building out Google Calendar, Outlook, and Apple Calendar functionality. So yes, you can use our planning calendar, our AI-powered calendar, and it will reschedule your Google Calendar, your Outlook Calendar, or your Apple Calendar, all three combined. So yes, you use this to plan it, but you can still keep Google Calendar downloaded if you like the aesthetic or the function of that. And vice versa, it updates the events between them. Get started. Log a win tonight on Halloween when everyone else is out partying, drinking, wasting their life away. Be the person that's posting on their story that you are an elite member of Altura. When they wake up hungover tomorrow and they see this, they're gonna know that you won and they didn't. Don't give in to lust. Don't give in to FOMO. Don't go out tonight. Prove that you are greater than who you think you were. I'm rooting for you. The scariest thing on Halloween isn't ghosts. It's the fear of loss, of giving up potential of who you could be from one decision that I just handed you. $15 is Taco Bell nowadays, as unfortunate as that is, because it's gotten mad expensive with this economy. You're paying more for a tank of gas. Imagine having that power to change your business for the same price. It's waking up in 2026 after this holiday season, cuffing season, winter arc mode, still subscribing to 11 tools and 0 income. That is scarier. Altura ends that tonight. I gave you the roadmap. I've given you the solution. The hand is reached out. Now it's up to you to choose to take it. I'm Caleb Schulke. This is the Ascendant Podcast. I'll see you inside the community and the Discord that we're using for right now as we transition to our full integrated on-platform chat and soon to be mobile app. Get signed up for free, and I'll see you in the community. Happy Halloween.